expression of ratio. Expression of ratio.
Like time,
Yes, time.
distance.
No. Actually, ratio can be expressed in pure ratio form and
Yeah, pure
percentage form
ratio.
and times form.
Thanks, yeah. Like pure
Okay.
ratio. Yes, sir.
So there are 4 types of ratio I told you about. So the first one is liquidity ratio. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And what is liquidity ratio? Liquidity ratio tell us about tell us about liquidity position of a company, that a company is able to pay its short-term liability or not. Liquidity position of company, that is, if a company is able to pay its short-term liabilities or not. Can you tell me the examples of short-term liabilities? What are the short-term liabilities for the company?
No, yes, sir. Maybe like drawings.
Short-term liabilities includes cash credit.
Okay, so no drawings.
No.
Okay.
Drawing is actually related to capital, related to owner. Yes.
Even it can be a business part also, right? Firms.
And we are discussing here the ratio chapter, and it is based on company balance sheet. Okay. Financial statement of company. So you know about drawing, which is in proprietorship business or partnership business. Yes.
Yes, sir.
But there is no drawing in company.
Drawing. Okay.
Okay. Let's say this. There are 3 forms of business. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Proprietorship,
Sole proprietorship, partnership,
partnership, and company.
company.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, you can easily recognize the owner of proprietorship. Yes. And also in case of partnership. But
Yes, sir.
who is the owner of company?
CEO, like there's only one person.
Actually, owner of company are shareholders.
Shareholder. Yes, sir. That is it.
Shareholders are owner of company, and there are lakhs and crores of shareholders in a company. Yes. So can you tell me, they can withdraw the money from business or not?
They could.
No, they cannot. Actually, let's say I am the shareholder of SBI company. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I am also a shareholder of, let's say, Tata Motors. You know about Tata Motors?
Yes, sir. Tata Motors.
Yes.
The car.
So I can withdraw money from Tata Motors account or not?
As a shareholder,
Yes.
I could. I can't. You said.
No, actually, I have no authority over their accounts. Okay. So in case of company, there are different owners and different management. Yes. Owners are different from management, but in case of proprietorship and partnership, they are similar. The owners and the management is same.
Owner and management in sole proprietor or in partnership, sir?
Yes.
Both. Okay.
Owner and management are same, Because let's say if we talk about proprietorship, there is a person who is owner, only one person, yes,
Yes, sir.
and he also operate all the business, he also manage the business, yes.
Hmm.
So you can say that owner is also managing the business, yes or no?
Owner is also managing business.
Yes.
In sole proprietorship and partnership, he is managing, right?
Yes, I'm talking
Oh,
about proprietorship and partnership.
okay, okay, okay. Got it.
So owner is operating business because there is only one owner and he is also managing all of the business.
Yes, sir.
So you can see that owner of that business and the management is same, that one person, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So whenever he want, he will withdraw the money from business.
Yes, yes. He
But
can, but in shareholders, they can't.
yes, in shareholders, just I told you that I am the shareholder of Tata Motors, but I don't know the account number or account detail of Tata Motors. Yes.
So who in whose hand will be the authority?
Actually, Tata Motors are operated or managed by directors and CEO, as you told me.
Yes, sir. So
But they
consider.
are, yes, they are employee of the company. Okay. But they have authority over all the accounts, but they cannot withdraw money like that. Okay.
Understood, sir.
So management team is different and they cannot withdraw the money. And also the owner of company is shareholders and they also cannot withdraw money. So there is no concept of drawing in case of company.
Hmm.
Is that clear?
Understood. Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
So
So I can write it down in a minute.
yes, you can
I'll
write it,
just write it down.
but actually these are not important for you. These are for understanding purpose only.
Oh, it's still useful, sir, for the meaning of
Okay.
liquidation.
Okay. You can write sole proprietorship, partnership. I'm not erasing the upper side of that liquidity ratio and example. I'm
Yes, sir.
erasing
That
this example only. You want to write this example?
done, sir. All done.
Okay, good. So now you know that what is short-term liabilities, what is,
Long-term liabilities I haven't yet.
okay, we will discuss about long-term liabilities. We are only talking here for short-term liabilities or current assets or current liabilities, you can say. So maybe there are short-term loans.
Long-term
Yes,
loans. Yes, sir.
these are called, also called current liabilities.
Hmm.
And there are, let's say, inventory means stock,
Yes, sir.
debtors,
Debtors.
cash. These are our current assets.
Hmm.
Current assets, and these are our current liabilities, creditors. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we have to establish the relation between current assets and current liability in liquidity ratio.
Hmm.
So there are two types of liquidity ratio. The first one is current ratio. The wait, just 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are two types of liquidity ratio. The first one is current ratio and the second one is liquid ratio. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can you tell me what is working capital for a business?
Working capital of a business is cash.
Cash. Only cash?
Cash and capital.
Cash and capital. Okay. Actually, working capital means capital which is needed for running a business day-to-day operation.
Oh, I misunderstood, I guess.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for calculation of this ratio, you also need to know the working capital concept. So working capital, if we talk about formula of working capital, it is current assets minus current liabilities. Okay.
Okay, sir. So
So
can I like
current,
the formula? Yes.
what?
The formula, the current is.
Okay. Working capital. Working capital equals to current assets minus current liabilities. Okay. So this is the formula of working capital.
Yes,
Now
sir.
we will talk about current ratio. What is current ratio? Current ratio is the relationship between current assets and current liability of a business. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It shows that how much difference in the current assets and current liabilities of firm. Okay. So we present the current ratio in pure ratio form. Current ratio. So current ratio shows the relationship of or relationship between relationship between current assets and current liabilities. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So what is the formula of current ratio? Current ratio equals to, how to calculate current ratio? Current ratio equals to current assets divided by current liabilities. Okay, so this is the formula for current ratio. Ideal ratio for current ratio is 2 is to 1. 2 is to 1. It means if you have 1 lakh rupees liabilities, means liability of rupees 1 lakh, then you can have rupees 2 lakh of current assets. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you have current liabilities of rupees 1 lakh, then you can have a current assets of rupees 2 lakh. So this is the ideal ratio. If
Okay, sir.
there is any difference in this, let's say you have 2 lakh of current assets and 1 lakh of current liability. So the ratio is 2 is to 1. But if let's say we have a current assets of 2 lakh and current liability of also 2 lakh, then what will be the ratio? Can you tell me the ratio?
1:1.
1:1.
Yes, sir.
So it is not good for us that our current asset is equal to current liabilities. Yes.
Okay, sir. Why?
And why? Yes. So if our current asset is equal to current liability, then current asset will take some time to, to get converted in cash. Yes or no?
In the
Because,
same amount.
because current asset includes inventory, means stock, debtors, means person whom we sold the goods on credit. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So there are two items included in current assets, that is inventory and debtors. So it will take some time to get cash from those items. Yes. We cannot say that we will go to the debtors and ask them for money and they will pay immediately. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
No, they will not pay immediately. They will take some time. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And our stock, we cannot sell immediately the stock and get cash. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So it will take some time to get converted in cash for current assets. And if current liability asks for money, means they are asking to repay their money, then we have to pay them. Yes. And we cannot get money immediately. So it will be default for us. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Default, you understand the default in payment.
Default means it's already found in it.
Default means we didn't pay the money on time. It is called default in case of payment.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay. So we didn't pay the money on time to liabilities and they now will not give us anything on credit. Because let's say creditor, we purchased goods of rupees 50,000 from creditors. Okay. And they give us 3 months credit, 3 months credit. So we can repay the money after 3 months. Yes. And if that is the situation, they will come after 3 months and they will ask for money. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And if we are not able to pay that money after 3 months, then it is our default. It is default in
It
payment.
turns into liability.
Yes, it
Does
is
it?
default in payment of liability.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now that creditor will not give us any extra credit. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So it will be bad reputation for us.
Understand.
Okay. So we calculate the current ratio by this formula, and the ideal ratio for current ratio is 2:1. Now you want to write it, you can copy it. After that, we will solve a question for current ratio.
Okay, sir.
Okay, write it down. Okay, so this is the question. Complete.
Yes, sir. Finished.
Okay, there are, in this formula you can see that current asset is written. So what are the items included in current assets?
Hmm. You're
Current
not
asset.
doing something for?
No, no, not now. We will do question. It is part of theory. Current assets includes inventory,
Hmm.
trade receivable. Trade receivable means debtors and bills receivable are included in trade receivable. Okay.
Hmm.
Cash and bank balance and short-term investment. So these are included in current assets.
Hmm.
Now there are some current liabilities also. So current liabilities includes, okay, and there is trade payables. Trade payables, it includes creditors and bills, creditors and bills payable. After that, short-term loan, short-term provisions,
So short-term investment means it's asset. Short-term loan means it's liability, sir.
what?
Short-term loan means it's liability. Short-term
Yes,
investments means.
yes. You can see here, current liabilities includes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So these are current liabilities, trade payables, short-term loans, short-term provisions. Okay. So these are
Yes.
short-term liabilities, our current liabilities. So
Hmm.
you can write it now.
Yes, sir.
Or there is one more item. Prepaid expenses and accrued income and done.
No, sir.
Okay.
So what is called?
What?
Oh, no, it was a Zoom control, sir, blocking half of it.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay, so you understand each item written in there:
Yes, sir.
inventory, trade receivable, cash and bank, and short-term investment. It means you invested money somewhere and it is for short term, 3 months, 6 months, or less than 12 months. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And prepaid expenses and accrued income. Prepaid expenses means we have paid expenses in advance. That's why it is an assets for us. And we have incurred some income, but it is not received yet. Okay.
Okay, sir.
We performed some job, but the money is not received yet. So it is called accrued income. Okay. After that, you can see current liabilities include trade payables. Trade payables means creditors and bills payable. Short-term loans. There are some loans which are for 2 or 3 months or 5 months or 6 months. So these are called short-term loans. It also includes cash credit, bank overdraft. So these are short-term loans. Okay.
Okay,
Short
sir.
short-term provisions. There are some provisions which is required for short time. So these provisions like income tax provision are short-term provision. Okay. And outstanding expenses and advance income. Someone paid us some money and we didn't perform his job yet. Okay, so it is called advance income. And outstanding expenses, it means someone has completed his job for us and we didn't pay the amount.
Okay, sir.
So these are our current assets and current liabilities. Now I am giving you a question. First, you try to complete that question, and if you are not able to complete, then I will solve the question. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so there are items given: debtors of rupees 1 lakh, and prepaid expenses, prepaid expenses, that is 10,000, and cash and cash equivalent, that is 50,000. 50,000. Machinery is also given of 10,000, and creditors 60,000, and there is expenses payable. Expenses payable 40,000, inventory 40,000, and debenture of rupees 1 lakh. Can you calculate the current ratio now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just tell me the answer, and after that, I will try to complete it.
Okay, sir.
Done.
Sir, division part and additional.
What?
1 minute, sir.
Okay.
So I'm getting 16 is to 25.
16 is to 25.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
It's wrong, right?
how much is your current assets?
Current assets are 1,60,000.
1,60,000. Okay. And current liabilities?
2,50,000.
So you included this and this in
So
current liability and this in current assets. Yes. Yes or no?
machinery, where did you answer?
You included machinery in current assets
Yes, sir.
and you included debenture in current liabilities.
Debentures I included in current liabilities.
Yes.
Yeah. And the machinery also I had included in liabilities.
That is incorrect because there is no machinery in current assets and no debenture in current liabilities. You can see here
So
machinery is a fixed assets, long-term assets. Okay.
that will be in assets.
Actually, you have to understand what is current assets and current liabilities. Okay. Current assets means those assets which can be converted in cash within 12 months. Okay. So those assets which can be converted in cash within 12 months, or you can receive cash from them within 12 months. Okay. So those all assets which can be converted in 12 months in cash, then it is current assets. And current liabilities means those liabilities which are payable within 12 months. So debenture is actually a long-term liability. Long-term liability means it is generally payable after 3 or 5 years or 10 years later. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So it cannot be included. And machinery is also, you can see machinery is of rupees 10,000 and you cannot sell machinery easily. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So machinery is a long-term assets. You cannot include it in current assets. Now there is debtors, there is prepaid expenses, there is cash and cash equivalent, and there is inventory for current assets. So first we have to calculate current assets. So what will be our current assets? Current assets equals to,
So current asset I have gotten correct, I guess. 1,60,000.
1 lakh plus 10,000 plus 50,000
Plus 40,000.
plus 40,000. So it is 2 lakh.
2 lakh. Because debits are also added.
You didn't included inventory.
Inventory I added. So inventory I added. Creditors I added. The cash and cash equivalent and prepaid expenses. Then yeah, that's what I ordered. I didn't add debitors.
Okay, you didn't add debtors.
Debtors.
Okay. So current liabilities means creditors and expenses payable, that is 40,000. So these are our current liabilities. So it will be 1 lakh. So current assets is 2 lakh and current liability is
1 lakh.
1 lakh. So the ratio will be 2 is to
2 is to 1.
1. These are actually working note number 1 and working note number 2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And the upper part is main solution for us. So this is how you are going to calculate the current ratio. There is one more ratio that is called liquid ratio. We will discuss the liquid ratio in our next class. But in current ratio, there are different type of questions that will be asked in exams or books. Okay, so this is the simple example of question which will be asked.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so it is a very simple question for current assets. In this, current assets and current liability is given. But in some question, there will be no information of current assets or current liability. Okay, so only one item will be given to you. That is, maybe current assets will be given and current liability is not given. And current as liability is given and current assets is not given. So
So we had to find them.
so we have to find the current assets or current liabilities first, and then we have to calculate the current ratio. Okay. So we will also discuss these type of concept in our next class. If you have any doubt up to this, you can ask questions.
So how can I by have this thing like which all are coming under current assets and liabilities?
You have to decide it. Like I have given you some examples. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In here. Yes. So these are the examples of current assets and current liabilities, but there may be some other current assets and current liabilities. You have to decide on the basis of their conversion in cash. Why uh, they have in our business, they have included in our balance sheet. The intention behind keeping those assets means, let's say we talk about inventory, okay, stock. So can you tell me, if a person is doing a business and he has some stock left, means some goods unsold in their stock, then in what time he wants to remove those items from his stock and convert it into cash?
When he's leaving. So once again the question.
Okay, let's say you have a shop of clothes, okay,
Okay, sir.
and you have some jeans in your stock that is unsold.
Okay.
On 31st March 2020, that is end of the year. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, can you tell me what time did you expect to sell those items to customers on cash or credit basis?
By March 31st.
Actually, it is March 31st already. Okay.
Okay.
So you want to sell it within 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, or what is the time you expect it to sell? What time? 1, 2, 5 years?
1 year. 1 year, I guess.
So you will expect
Timeline?
that as soon as possible inventory should be sold. Yes,
Yes, sir.
because it is your business and you want to sell those items. You kept those items for selling. Yes, you purchased goods for sale, for sale to customers. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So your intention is to sell those goods. That is why it is included in current assets. Okay.
And
So you will not take much time. When opportunity arrives, then you will, as soon as possible, you will sell the inventory to the customer. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
Okay. Same with the trade receivable, like debtors. Let's say you sold some goods on credit. Okay.
Okay.
You sold some goods on credit to someone. Let's say you sold goods to me, Nilesh Ranjan. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then you want to receive the money from me for that sale as soon as possible. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Because I want to sell it to you.
Yes, because you sold the goods on credit, so you want to receive the money as soon as possible. That's why trade receivable is also included in current assets, because your intention is to receive money as soon as possible.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to receive money, if you want to convert any item into cash, within some specified time, okay, within 3 months, 4 months, or 5 months, less than a year, then it will be called current assets. Is that clear?
Little bit, sir.
Okay. Short-term investment. What about short-term investment? We invested some amount in shares or debentures of a company, and we want to sell it within 3 months. Then it is called current assets. But when we purchase the shares and we want to keep it for long term, let's say 3 years, then it is called long-term investment, not short-term investment. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And it will be not included in current assets. And prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses is same as the I told you about trade receivable. Let's say we paid someone to do some work for us. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So the time limit that we will expect them to work for us is 1 or 2 months, because we paid them in advance. Let's say we paid wages. Yes, we paid wages to someone to perform some work for us. So we now want to get that work done as soon as possible. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So whenever there is an expectation of you that you want to convert those items in cash as soon as possible, then it is called current assets.
Okay.
Okay. And if you talk about theory, then current assets are those items which will be converted in cash within 12 months. So it is the basically the main definition for current assets. And same with current liabilities. If the amount is payable within 12 months, then it is current liability. Let's say income tax is decided each year. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You know about income tax?
Yes, sir. The one who collect taxes.
Actually, income tax means the tax on income of a person.
Okay, sir.
So it is called income tax, and it is payable each year. Each and every year you have to pay income tax if you are earning some income. Yes.
The normal.
So if you have to pay the income every year, then 1 year income tax is should be paid within 12 months. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Because after 12 months, you have to pay the tax of next year. So for current year tax, you have to pay it within 12 months. Yes. So it is our current liability because we have to pay it within 12 months.
Understood.
So if you have still any doubt, you can ask questions, and just try to do some questions related to current assets. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Because for understanding, for better clarity, you need to do some questions.
Okay, sir.
Is there any doubt?
No, sir. I'll just go through it then.
Okay.